It is 100 million. Maybe you guys ought to get a few cash collectively, and I'll go down and get it. And you guys should buy me a few tickets too, you ball, at a higher risk to getting struck through lightning. It's smooth to get struck by using lightning. Keep a huge metallic pole up in a rainstorm. Corey Harrison's motorbike crash wasn't simply a coincidence. It turned into a risky bounce at 40 mph. Circle of relatives fights severe fitness troubles, criminal problems. Corey has taken hit after hit. However, 2024 delivered the worst blow of all, losing his brother Adam to an unexpected overdose at just 39. Music in now, due to the fact, if the rumors are real, this might be his hardest combat yet. Fame's brutal rate. Corey, the pawn, superstars preferred, might appear like he's been living the dream. Big money offers, rare treasures, TV fame, but backstage chaos, pain, a chain of misfortunes that simply won't stop. He's dealt with family drama, weight battles, tragic losses. Now yet every other brush with disc quicker. However, this time everything is at stake. Let's rewind a chunk. Born into the arena of haggling and heavy negotiations, he turned into almost raised on the store floor of gold and silver pawn, thanks to his grandfather, the legendary Richard Harrison, and his dad, Rick. By the point the cameras rolled in 2009, he had already been grinding in the business for years, but even as America watched him negotiate overpriced antiques and questionable memorabilia, his actual life changed into getting a whole lot messier. First, there were the strength struggles. He wasn't content material simply being the fellow cleaning glass cases. He wanted ownership, recognize, manage. He'd driven hard, even threatening to walk far from the store at one factor. The result, a measly 5% stake within the enterprise. Don't do drugs, get a great education, don't have kids out of wedlock. You just reduced your possibilities of being in poverty through 95%. Three things now. Not precisely a king's ransom, but at the least, it became something. Then got here the health battles the man become. Tipping the scales at over 400 lb. Before fact hit, diabetes became knocking, and it wasn't taking no for a solution. He took the drastic course, getting lap band surgical treatment and jetting 1/2 his weight matters were eventually searching up. But as regular lifestyles had other plans, entered the bike crash, no longer just a simple wipeout. This was a full-blown mid-air EV evacuation, he chafed, into tearing down the street at 40 mph when something went horribly wrong, forcing him to leap off his very own motorbike. Consider that for a second, not falling. No longer skidding out, literally bailing on a moving bike at toll road speeds. Maximum people could have been rushed straight to the health facility, but him, nah, he went, returned to his birthday celebration. First hardcore cussed. Perhaps a little bit of both. When he did in the end see a doctor, they needed to bolt his hand back together with plates and screws. A tough manner to have a good time. Another 12 months alive. And just whilst you suppose it's the quid of the mess, 2023 rolls in with some other legal headache. Vegas law enforcement officials pulled him over, claiming he'd become swerving throughout the road, reeking of alcohol. He swore he had simply one drink hours earlier than. However, the breathalyzer and sobriety take a look at, we're not buying it. Busted blood samples sealed the deal over the legal restrict. He wasn't about to take that lying down and plan to combat it. But the damage become already carried out. Another unpleasant headline, any other spherical of public scrutiny. Yeah, a little bit. And I fell in love with analyzing. I mean, I literally, even when I don't forget being like 10 years Antifa. And my older brother announcing, why are you guys looking TV? You should study extra it is. But nothing, clearly, not anything should examine to what came about in 2024, his more youthful brother, Adam, long gone. A surprising, devastating overdose, just 39 years old. The news hit like a freight the two may not were aspect by side on TV, but they had been blood, they had been circle of relatives, and losing Adam shattered the entirety. The Pawn Stars world abruptly appeared a lot much less essential. Through all of it, he continues pushing ahead, strolling the shop, making offers, trying to stay on his feet. However, whispers of some other health scare are swirling. Some claim he had a stroke. Others say it's something just as extreme. Whatever the case, one factor is apparent. His tale is not over. No longer by using an extended shot the pawn keep the reputation, the fortune. All of it comes at a value, and for him the fee continues getting steeper. Whether he can cash in a single last time and pop out beforehand, that's the million greenback query. However, it's best a part of the story. This is not just a collection of horrific luck moments. This is a complete blown saga of twists, turns, and an unshakable truth that his existence has in no way been, and never may be, simple. The person has confronted financial struggles, owned family feuds, business betrayals, and a private journey. This is as raw as it is relentless. The surgical procedure was a game changer, but it wasn't a magic restoration. It took severe way of life adjustments and an ongoing dedication to staying healthy, and just whilst he started out to get control over his body, life hit back more difficult. Corey had visible trouble, but this felt distinct. The rumors pointed to something larger, whispers, secrets, and techniques, and an unexpected damage. Now with whispers of fitness trouble circling, he's over again at a crossroads. He's been through the ringer. How he's nevertheless dealing still, seeking to make experience of a lifestyle that refuses to play with the aid of the rules. The question is, how a good deal greater can he take, and is there still time to show it all? Around the guy's no stranger to dangers, whether it is behind the counter at the shop or out living his life. But this wasn't a few innocent tumble. We are talking approximately something that would have results some distance beyond a few stitches and more than one aspirin. And the way the tale is unfolding, it is messy, very messy. First of all, allows get one factor immediately. He's tough. He's been through his honest session of chaos, and he generally shakes it off like it's just some other Tuesday. But this time, it is distinct. Reports say that what first of all seemed like simply a twist of fate may virtually have more layers than all people thought. The kind of layers that make you boost an eyebrow and begin asking a few critical questions. For starters, the instances surrounding the incident don't line up the way they should officially. It's been called a coincidence. However, whilst you dig a little deeper, there are a few information that just do not sit proper. A few say it turned into only a second of horrific good fortune. Others, well, they think something else could have been at play. The hassle, no one's talking. And, whilst people do not talk, you have to surprise what they do not want you to understand. Allows wreck it down he become, doing his factor residing his life while all of a sudden, bam, the entirety changed. The initial tale became simple. Something went incorrect. He were given harm, give up of debate. But then came the whispers, the form of whispers that make you question if there may be greater to the tale. A few folks are claiming there had been caution signs and symptoms before the accident. Others are hinting at outside elements that could have played a function, after which there may be the kicker. A few humans are saying this could now not warrant coincidence in any respect. Let's not leap instantly into conspiracy mode, but you need to admit while there's smoke, there may be typically hearth. And right now, there's a whole lot of smoke. Assets close to him have noted that he was within the first-rate place leading up to the incident. Whether it becomes stress out of doors, pressures, or something else entirely, no one's inclined to say. But the fact that humans are dodging questions, that asserts lots. And then there is the harm itself, not only a few minor scrapes. This become extreme, the sort of critical that makes you marvel how precisely it occurred. And extra importantly, why you know. So I'm actually unwell all of the time. There may be one TV within the house, and take into account this is 1973. There is 3 TV stations, and there's definitely not anything for a child to observe all through the day. So, because if there may be greater to this tale than meets the attention, then that means someone, someplace does not want you to know the total fact. The reliable clarification, just horrific success. But when was the closing time? Bad luck got here with a side of secrecy? Something's off right here. And until we get the entire photograph, it's going to live that way. What's subsequent for him? That is the massive question. If this seems to be simply an unfortunate occasion, he's going to bounce back, however. If there is something more, then that is only the beginning. One component's for sure. This isn't always over now, not through a long shot. Digging deeper, the days leading up to the coincidence maintained some bizarre clues. He had been noticed in town, searching extra distracted than usual. A few human beings say. He became on side, constantly checking over his shoulder, stress from work perhaps. But it is really worth noting that a number of his closest associates have been surprisingly quiet, avoiding questions on what had been occurring in his existence at the time. Then there's the region of the coincidence, no longer exactly the sort of vicinity you would anticipate something like this to take place. It wasn't excessive. Each second, he could in no way hear Adam's voice once more. No greater random calls, no extra catching up over beers, no more brotherly jabs or inside jokes. That part of his existence turned into sealed off, locked inside the beyond, impossible to get returned. Days changed into weeks, and the haze of loss did not carry. If anything, it thickened. He saved replaying every conversation, each interplay. The signs needed to be there, right? A few sort of warnings, something he had missed. Humans stated time healed wounds. However, he wasn't buying it. Time didn't bring Adam back. Time didn't answer the gnawing questions that haunted him. Time failed to restore the hollow in his life. What it did, though, change into sharpen his focus. He started out analyzing greater approximately the crisis that had stolen his brother. The numbers had been horrifying. Heaps of lives long gone, families shattered, testimonies reduced brief. It wasn't simply Adam. It wasn't only a married tragedy. This became a pandemic eating via the United States. One life at a time. He wasn't the form of man to take a seat, returned and do not anything that wasn't his style. He had spent his existence making movements, constructing a name, carving his personal route. And now he had a brand new mission. Make sure Adam's story wasn't buried beneath any other wave of overdoses. He started speaking more overtly, sharing what he could, pushing for attention due to the fact if Adam's death needed to suggest something, it needed to be a turning point, a moment that made human beings pay interest. Is Corey a victim of destiny or the architect of his personal downfall? Go away your opinion in the remarks. Keep in mind to love and subscribe for more.